The Ombudsman for Long-Term Insurance says it has received an increase in the number of claims from consumers relating to life cover claims. They range from the terms and conditions that are not met, waiting period not expired, and general poor service. About 3,600 complaints relating to life cover were brought before the Ombudsman in the 2020 and 2021 financial year. 32% of these complaints were resolved in favour of consumers. Consumers are urged to read the terms and conditions of the insurance contracts. Failure to do so can lead to their claims being repudiated.
Starting point is always to get your policy document and to make sure that you know exactly what you're covered for, which benefits you enjoy, and which you don't. I think that would always be the starting point, because that is the agreement between you and the insurer.
The Financial Sector Conduct Authority deals with consumers' complaints relating to any breach of the legislation. The FSCA has urged consumers to first try and resolve their complaints with their insurance companies.
A case that may be brought to the FSCA may be a case of a person who has gone to their insurer, and the insurer is actually delaying in terms of finalizing that claim. Maybe the insurer is requiring certain documentation that the policyholder believes that maybe by requiring those documents, then that amounts to a barrier to a claim. Because in terms of the TCF principles, one of the principles is that policyholders should not experience a barrier when they have to lodge their claims. So if there is a delay, for example, that is a matter that can be brought to us, and then we can look at the conduct of the insurer.
Lack of disclosure is one of the challenges that consumers are facing, but the Ombudsman says the claims of non-disclosure have reduced in the last 4 years. Consumers are urged to fully disclose their medical conditions to avoid their claims being repudiated due to non-disclosure. Your medical history is often used to determine your risk profile and what premiums you will be charged, but other factors such as your age and level of qualifications will also play a role when determining what premiums you should be paying.
Do not disclose all your medical conditions. You will be put in a risk profile that pays a much lower premium, and you're actually taking away the insurer's right to properly underwrite you, and that causes problems.
Normally, when you take your policy with an insurance company, there will usually be a clause which the policyholder and the insurer, then they agree on that clause that then the insurer then can access the medical records of the policyholder if need be. And during that process, which is the inception of the policy stage, then there will be medical related questions that will be posed to the policyholder, and usually the policyholder then will consent to the insurer obtaining additional information on what they disclose to the insurer as their medical status, and that will usually happen during claim stage. So there will be an agreement to that effect, because what you disclose to the insurer then must be something that can be supported by medical records if need be.
At claiming stage, insurance companies often require the medical records of clients to establish whether there was any pre-existing illness that was not disclosed. But if an insured person did not sign a disclaimer giving insurance companies permission for this, then consumers have no obligation to do so. This process can often take a long time to finalize and is likely to further inconvenience the grieving family.
Hypothetically, let's say there wasn't a consent for medical information to be disclosed. If the insurer can't, then the insurer probably won't be able to make a decision whether to pay out the claim or not.
The Office of the Ombudsman says its doors are opened to deal with any consumer complaints regarding life cover, but warned that every case will be dealt on its own merit. When it comes to life cover insurance claims, it could take up to 6 months to resolve consumers' less complicated complaints, but more complex cases will likely take much longer to resolve. Naledi Matlapeng, SABC News, Johannesburg.